This election season, we've had an attempted assassination on a former U.S. president. President Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race, and Vice President Kamala Harris has now taken his place.
If you feel like you've been on an emotional roller coaster, you're certainly not alone. Researchers with Washington State University measured participants' emotional responses during the presidential debate and found emotions are, in fact, heightened. Marissa Rio joins us in studio now. So, Marissa, how was that study conducted?
Emotional responses were measured by looking at participants' sweat, but I'll get into that later. I want you to take a look at some of these preliminary findings. This graph here shows how Democrats' average emotional response was when Vice President Kamala Harris spoke and when former President Donald Trump spoke. Those responses didn't change, but the big takeaway is how high these emotional responses got. The researcher says this is an extremely high emotional response.
We're in an emotional storm.
That's how Dr. Paul Bowles, the co-director of WSU's Media Minds Lab, describes the political culture this election season. He and a research partner put this ring on 18 Democrats for Harris and 13 Republican for Trump voters. The ring measured sweat gland activity. Results show that certain points in the debate elicited a more emotional response than others.
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that.
That line in particular, along with conversations regarding January 6th, had participants fired up. But moments like these.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Didn't get that high of a response, possibly revealing
Individuals might be somewhat emotionally desensitizing to some of the language that Trump uses.
Dr. Paul Bowles says due to the sample size, he wants to be scientifically cautious about these conclusions, but not scientifically timid. Now, before that story, we did see that Democrats' emotional response was high, but Republican response was just slightly above average. Now, participants were also asked about their feelings before and after the debate, and they noted a change in how voters on both sides of the aisle felt about the candidates. You can read more details from this study on KXLY.com. In studio, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.